Hello class 9th, I am Ashok, your English teacher, present here with a new video for you. I hope all of you are fine at home. Today I will discuss the remaining part of the text of chapter number 2, Toto's Adventures by Ruskin Bond from Supplementary Reader book. In the previous video, we had read about how Toto was brought to home by the author's grandfather and how his presence was kept a secret and not told to grandmother. We also read about his Sahanpur visit with grandfather, where grandfather had to pay 3 rupees as fare for traveling with the dog, as Toto was considered dog by the ticket collectors. Now let's read the remaining text. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion the family donkey Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. Here, two words are there which may be difficult for you. Number one is stable. Stable means building set apart and adapted for keeping horses. Then halter. Halter is a strap or loop placed around the head of a horse or other animals used for leading or tethering it. So these were two difficult words. And now we will see what was there in this part of the text. The writer's grandmother finally came to know of Toto's presence in the house. She allotted him space in the stable along with the family donkey Nana. On the first night, grandfather visited Toto. He found Nana restless there and pulling its rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay or bundle of hay. Hay means grass. Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened on to her long ears with his sharp little teeth. So grandfather hit Nana on the back in order to stop it. Haunches means back. Nana jumped back with a jerk and Toto was dragged along with her as he had fastened her on her long ear with his teeth. Toto and Nana never became friends. So this happened there. They never became good friends in the house. A great treat for Toto during cold winter evenings was the large ball of warm water given him by grandmother for his bath. He would cunningly test the temperature with his hand, then gradually step into the bath, first one foot, then the other, as he had seen the author doing so, until he was into the water up to his neck. So, in the winter season, Toto used to enjoy having a warm bath. He would pretend to be selfish and before starting his bath, he would check the temperature of the water. He would copy the writer and stepped into the tub one foot at a time. Finally, he would sit in the water with his face out of it. Now, see the next part. Once comfortable, he would take the soap in his hands or feet or rub himself all over. When the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. If anyone laughed at him during his performance, Toto's feelings would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. Okay, in this part of the text, we read that Toto used to rub himself with soap When the water became cold, he would run out of it to the stove in the kitchen in order to dry himself. Toto got annoyed if he was laughed upon. He would get hurt and then refuse to take bath. The writer recollects an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm enough for a bath, he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then realized himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and hauled him half boiled out of the kettle. So, in this part of the text, we read that hauled means pulled him out. In a large kettle, water was boiling on the stove. Toto climbed up to the stove and removed the lid from it. He felt that the water was warm enough for him to take a bath. He entered inside the kettle with his head out of it. When the water started boiling, it became hot for Toto. He thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he stayed in it. Toto kept on jumping in the kettle for a while. It was when the writer's grandmother arrived that she took the half boiled monkey out of the kettle. So, this was the incident which was shared. If there is a part of the brain especially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. So, if there is a part in our brain that governs our ability to create mischief, then that part in Toto's brain was highly developed, as he had great capacity to do mischiefs. Means he used to do various mischiefs, and that part of his brain was pretty developed, which used to cause these mischiefs. He was always busy doing mischief. Whenever the writer's aunts passed him, he tried to tear their dresses. So this was from monkey's side. He was very mischievous. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. My grandmother screamed, and Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of plough and made his exit through a window. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit tree. The dish still in his arms, he remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain, and then, in order to spite grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. So another incident is shared in this part of the text with us by the author. He recollects another incident when Toto created a lot of mischief. At lunchtime, a dish of rice was placed on the dining table. When the family reached to eat, they found Toto eating it. The writer's grandmother screamed at Toto, and in response, he threw a plate at her. When the aunts tried to catch Toto, he threw a glass of water in their face. When the grandfather arrived there, Toto left the place through a window with the dish of rice along with him. Toto remained out the entire afternoon. He sat on a branch of the jackfruit tree and he was determined to eat all the rice. As the grandmother had screamed on him, he wanted to annoy her further, and so, after eating the rice, he threw the dish onto her and it broke into several pieces. And he was very happy over that. Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. Even grandfather realized that we were not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains, and wallpaper. So, grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. So finally, grandfather realized that Toto was not suitable to be kept at home. They could not afford the frequent losses that he gave them. He tore clothes, curtains, wallpapers, and broke dishes. So the grandfather sold Toto back to the same Tonga driver for a sum of 3 rupees. So this was all about this chapter. Now, as a homework, you will complete the answers of the textual questions in your notebooks as per your reading or understanding of the chapter. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.